Miss Carla. How are you today?
I'm fine, Miss Ruth. How are you?
I'm good. Well, you're looking well.
Thank you. I'm a little tired, but thank you. I appreciate that.
What's going on with you? Why are you so tired?
Just didn't sleep well last night. Just one of those nights.
Okay.
I have those days sometimes.
Those restless syndromes. I understand completely.
Part of life when you get old. See all these grays upside my head.
Oh, wow, Miss Carla. Okay. Well, I guess we're nearing to the end of our sessions, and today, I know you told me it was one last thing you wanted to discuss. Tell me a little bit about some things with your mom in the past that had kind of been, and present, that have kind of been like pulling and tagging on you. We'll just talk about that and just the overcap of the past couple of sessions that we've had. Okay?
Okay. First of all, my mom, she's kind of overbearing, as most moms are, but I think my mom kind of take it over the edge a little bit sometimes. And I always felt like it was more so because I favored my dad more than my other three sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she took her bad relationship out with him and her out on me mostly. Maybe on all three of us, but mainly me, because like I said, I think I look more like him. So that's just from childhood up to my adulthood. That's just, if I'm just living with her or visiting her, she's always kind of belittling me or finding something negative to say. Never nothing positive, never nothing upbeat, never nothing encouraging. Every blue moon I might get an encouraging word from her, but please believe me, later on she gonna find something negative or degrading to say to me, and I've always just wondered why, and I've tried to approach her and talk to her about it, but she's not one of those people that can accept, if you say something about her that you feel like she should address. She feel like, no, I didn't do that, or I didn't say that, that's not true, or and me and my sisters have talked about this, like approaching her about different things, and she's just not one to want to deal with it.
So what I'm gathering from you, you and your mom over the years, just being a young child, it has been kind of like deterring situation where you feel like it's more favoritism and likableness to your siblings versus yourself.
More so the youngest, because I can't even say the one next to me, the middle one, is too much of a favorite, but more towards the youngest one. Yeah.
So with that being said, how do you feel? Do you feel like it's affected you growing up?
Well, I would say yeah, in some fashion it probably has, because at times, like even with us having kids now, she may favor her kids more than she favors mine. Like mine's, she'll make them fend for themselves when she'll be more nurturing towards my baby sister's kids.
Oh, wow.
And she'll pretty much throw mine to the wolves and make them fend for themselves, or just not as concerned about their well-being as she would be my baby sisters. And I can't say it about my sister, my middle sister, because she kind of treats them, I don't know, she's a little lenient on them, but she's tougher on mine. But I don't know, it's kind of weird how she does, and the kids kind of see it, and even my sisters, they see it, they see the difference.
So how has this affected your kids?
They really don't let it get to them. They pretty much, I think I've helped them have a tougher skin, so they really don't pay any attention to her. They try to stay away. That's how they deal with it. They try to keep as much distance away from her as possible, just stay away.
So in order to avoid being hurt or feel like they're treated as second class grandkids, they just kind of love grandma from a distance, is what I'm picking up.
Pretty much.
And tell me, how has feeling like maybe the oddball out of the kids and her growing up, how has that impacted you?
Well, I think it played a part on some self-esteem issues that kind of developed without me even realizing it. I think I had that issue because, again, when you, as a child, if you're being belittled and kind of talked to in a negative sense, you kind of take on those feelings and feel like that's you. That must be how I am. If she keeps saying that, and she my mama, so I wouldn't know any different. It played on my self-esteem. It just made me kind of standoffish from people, made me feel like I was less than, because if your own parents don't build you up, then who will? You know, I had to encourage myself to be, you know, make me feel like I'm better than or just as good as, because it wasn't never encouraged or instilled into me.
Well, just speaking from what I know, you seem to be a strong, independent woman who, you know, has been a great provider for her kids. You're there, you sustained yourself, you know, you're independent. So even growing up with what we would consider negativity, you know, you came to surpass that and turned out to be a wonderful person, a great parent, and you know, and now you're a great grandparent because you spend time with your kids. And I want to piggyback on something you said. You said it played a big toll with your self-esteem. And do you feel like this has kind of poured over into your adult relationships, choices you've probably made due to you just wanting comfort versus what would actually be healthy, nurturing for you? You kind of settled for less instead of open the door and trying more options or more things. You just kind of felt like, because, well, this is maybe as good as I could get because mom always said, or, you know, tore you down psychologically growing up and made you feel a certain kind of way. So you just kind of, growing up as an adult and the older you got, reached out wanting someone who would be nurturing, caring, who would pretty much stroke that wound and make you feel better and provide a release. But as speaking with you and over our sessions, it's kind of clear that yes, some of that happened, but it also brought upon other hurt as well. So, wow, that's pretty interesting.
So yeah, you're right when you said that. As far as in my relationship, it did pour into my relationship, because I saw that through, like, I had my kids at an early age, and I think it was more so because I was in need of that comfort, and I didn't have my dad or my mom, neither one of them. My mom didn't have time because she went through that bad relationship with my dad. So, and
it's kind of like you may have had the kids early on, seeking love, maybe, you know, kind of like what we hear about, you know, you want to be loved and you feel like if you had this little person here, they would love on you and you could pour out love on them, and that you want to kind of bring that barrier to protect what was so broken, what you've experienced. That could be, that's what I'm gathering.
Yeah, that's part of it. That played a part too, and also that I would say also you just seeking that love from somebody, like if you had your father, and I always learned that if you didn't have a father in your life, you kind of seek that love from a male companion. I think even though I had my dad earlier in life, it still kind of played a part when we left him, because my mom separated and left him. And then when we came to another state, we kind of looked towards, I think me and my sisters, all three of us did that. We kind of sought out a guy in that father figure, and then kind of comfort. Yeah, I think I really strongly believe that's what happened, because I think myself and both sisters did the same thing. So I know we're not talking about them, but I just feel like as a whole, we all three did the same thing.
Okay. And tell me how, since we've identified the problem and we know, you know, the emotional hurt and distress that you went through growing up, now how do you manage your relationship with your mother now that you're in your adulthood?
Let's see. Before I used to let what she say hurt me, you know, I'll take it to heart and kind of hold my head down and kind of mope, and probably sometimes I might have shed a tear or two, but now it's like I just let it go in one ear and out the other, because I'm older and I know better, and I just love her from a distance also, just like my kids. I love her. She's let her say what she's gonna say, and then I'll depart from her. I'll just leave, and I she's my mother, so I'm always love her regardless of
Correct.
who she is, what she has going on, or how she treat me. She, it didn't kill me, so it just made me stronger.
A stronger person.
So yeah, I still love her. She helped mold me to who I am today. So.
Well, that's a good take to take from it, Miss Carla. Even though it's you've matured and you've grown within yourself, kind of like things that are past hurts, you kind of let it roll off, even though it has affected you. But now you're older, you're wiser, you want better choices and better things for yourself as well as your family, and you just want to have that situation to where you can give and overflow to your children and your grandkids, and kind of not worry about things of the past nature, kind of protect your kids and your grandkids from what you experience.
Yes.
And what I really like about it, it sounds like you've come to a point of forgiveness and moving forth with your mom, even though you accept the fact that happened, but you're not letting that negative void hang over you. And sometimes as individuals, we have to love from a distance, because it can be tough, because it's hard to love certain people, even our families, the people who are closest to us, who know us best, they can be hard to love as well. So I think that's a very good attitude you've taken. And and if time moves forward and you feel like you need to revisit that situation for more assistance to help you cope if other issues come up, my door is always open. And I would always say seek professional counsel, either professionally or spiritually through your clergyman or something like that. Okay. So that's a really good approach you've taken. So moving right on into it, tell me, how are the grandkids?
They're doing really well. I hadn't talked to anybody, but I saw on Facebook, because we're all Facebook friends, my son, my daughter-in-law, and I, we all kind of communicate socially through the social media, and they posted some pictures of fall pictures of the babies. So the baby's growing teeth, and they're getting out the way. They're getting big. I even saw where Desmond, my son, Desmond and his wife, they kind of posted some pictures together where they did like a fundraiser for her classroom, because she's a teacher. So they're working together. They're working things out, which I am so glad right now. You just don't know. That kind of eases my pain, because I was in a lot of pain about knowing if they were going to separate, because I don't want to lose my grandchildren, and I know she's not from here, and if she leaves, I know she's going to take them, and they will move so far away to where I could go visit, but it would be even rare than what I'm seeing them now. So. Okay,
so that is always awesome. And so it seems like after you spoke with your son and your daughter-in-law, it sounds like they kind of took hold to some things that you revealed to me, and some suggestions. I told you to write out a plan and just have a pros and cons list with them that we've discussed in the past. And I know you told me you did all that, and it seems like it's worked. It starts to work, because sometimes, even as individuals, we can be adults and we can be hot-headed, and we can be temperamental, meaning I want things my way, you want things your way. But if we're going to be a happy family and grow and build together and, in a relationship, we have to bend a little bit. Sometimes I might have to bend over a little bit for my husband, and sometimes he may have to stick his foot out for me. It is what it is. Yeah. It's a give and take with marriage, and you continually build on it every day. He didn't say every day was going to be sunshine and roses, but if it's what you want, marriage is something you work on continuously. I've heard people who've been married for 50 or 60 years say it's a day-by-day basis. You know what I mean? And so it seems like the things you disclosed and told them about, I feel, just from observing what you've been saying, it has sunken in. And they're beginning to realize, hey, it's easier to do it together than not together. Right. Especially when now they have the two little ones involved, the little girls. And that's vital for them. I would encourage anyone to keep a healthy, growing lustrous family, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a 2-parent family. That is always, you know, that's always a good thing. Well, that is great.
Yeah, that's good news.
Well, that is awesome. And again, if they feel like they're having issues that they can't mend together, I would always tell you to encourage them. Seek professional counsel or clergyman counsel, you know, marriage counseling to help, because, you know, that's what it's here for, and it's to help them grow, be a healthy family and a healthy relationship, so they can be loving and great parents to their kids, you know, great role models. Yes.
So as far as like counseling, like sometimes my son, by him being a male, and a lot of males don't feel like they need counseling, because that was something that came up and he was against it, because he's like, guys don't go to counseling. So I mean, what would you suggest to tell him if it comes up again and they having issues and he feels like, okay, guys don't go to counseling?
I think with men, sometimes we have to, I mean, everybody see things differently, and sometimes we have to use a different psychological approach. Sometimes we may have to get another male figure in our family to just say, hey, can you speak with Desmond, you know, just kind of let him know, even if they won't go to professional physical. I'm quite sure within our homes and our lives, there's an older gentleman who he has a respect for, and who has set the tone, who can speak with him about different things personally as well as professionally, things that go on that he would take a nab to, even if it's not his father, and he would say, well, hey, this gentleman is correct. Right. You know, so it's kind of like he's getting structure through counsel, you know, through a wise person, and that gentleman can put them on the right track to moving forward in a better situation, you know. So I would say that.
Yeah, that
because oftentimes that does happen.
Yeah.
You know, men are different from women at times, you know, in a lot of aspects. Yes. Well, that is awesome. And just the final recap, and I see it's got you all happy. Tell me about, I know when we were last here, you were telling me about your ex from years ago who you were engaged to, and it kind of went downhill, ended not on the greatest note. And, you know, he's kind of rekindled the flames in your life, and y'all were communicating and trying to figure out if you guys wanted to work things out, decipher through all of the issues and the ugly stuff that went on, and just start on a clean slate and go from there. So give me an update. What's going on? You seem so happy.
I can say he's a very different person than he was 6 years ago, and it's something how just 6 year span could change somebody. But he's more in tune to a relationship and wanting more out of it. Like, he's even speaking on marriage and all of that. And I mean, he's wanting to grow. He's wanting to advance. He's like, I don't want to stay stuck here. I want us to be above everything in every way we can be. I don't want to stay in just a content mode. I mean, our conversations are so intellectually just intriguing. It's different. I get full off of it.
So it seems like he's really grown and matured, and he's kind of really, you can tell he's waded through the waters and all of the things that have happened in the past, and he really wants to make it right.
He's very passionate about it. Yeah.
Oh my!
I see a big difference.
So I know you were telling me last time that it almost felt like you were on a cliff and you didn't know if you wanted to allow your heart to jump back off this cliff into this, because how can you really know if he's really sincere about the changes, or is it temporarily just to get you back in his life?
Well, I'm going to say this, 2 things. I trust in God. And that's one of the main things that he brought up in trying to come back into my life, is that he's a very spiritual person now, which he was before, but he's more in tune to that. So I'm gonna say that's the bigger part, trusting in God, both of us.
Well, I always say if you put God first in anything you do, you know, He will surround you, protect you, and guide you where you need to be. So I feel like that's the best foundation that both of you can have, is to continue letting him lead you, guide you, direct you, and put you forth in all aspects that what you guys do. And I just want to encourage you to continue, moving forth in your career, with your family, with your relationship, all of the above. And if you ever need anything moving forth, Miss Carla, my door is always open. I'm always a phone call or an email away. And if you can't get me, by golly, seek professional counsel elsewhere, and also through your clergyman. So, all righty. Well, it was great working with you. You have a good one.